idea from your membrane. In my defense, I was deceived. There is a such thing as abusing luxuries. You do not need to move out. We're not carrying on these same habits. It's getting ridiculous. Learn from other people's mistakes so you don't have to go through it on your own. Hi friends, for those of you who don't know, my name is Jakaya. Welcome to our channel. For those of you who do know, welcome back. It's 5 points for if this applies to you, don't move out. And then I have key things to consider when you think you're ready to move out. Number 1, if you racked up on payment plans while living with your parents, do not move out. Let's rephrase what payment plans I'm talking about. I'm talking about Affirm, Afterpay, Klarna. Stop doing that. Matter of fact, when you get done paying off all of that stuff, go ahead and delete that. When I moved into this apartment, I owed Affirm $3,000 plus. Even though my monthly payments were small, it's the fact that I had multiple monthly payments on different, from different, what are those people called? Companies. So it was like I was actually paying a whole nother bill every month on top of the regular bills that I already have. Go ahead and pay that off first. When you get that paid off, then you'll be a step closer to being ready to move out. But until then, no. Cut it out. Cut the idea from your membrane. Next point is, if you don't have your move-in fees and at least 2 months worth of rent saved up, I personally don't recommend moving out. There are a lot of videos that's out here telling y'all to just go ahead and take your next week check and move out. Live on edge like that if you want to. But if your parents are not actually kicking you out the house, you need to be taking all of that time, taking advantage of all the time they are allowing you to stay there to save up your money. There are girls out there, dudes out there that don't know what move-in fees come with apartments. My move-in fees, I had a prorated fee because I moved out at the end of May, so I had to pay $104.71. Prorated pet rent, that was $1.29, whatever. Then we have a refundable security deposit that you have to pay. Mine was $1,773. Non-refundable application fee and a non-refundable admin fee. Application fee was $75, admin fee was $250. I paid all of that when I applied for the apartment, so that was already out the way. I have that non-refundable pet fee, which is $300, and then first full month's rent, $1,643. I owed them around everything total, everything total including the application fee and the admin fee that I had already gave them was a total of $4,147. But I only had to give them $3,822 when I was moving in, which I really didn't know until the day before I was supposed to move in. Expect for your move-in fees to be around $4,000. It may be cheaper in some places, it may be more expensive. I really want y'all to take these things into consideration, because if you do so happen, God forbid, run into a situation where you don't get your welcome letter until the day before move-in day, I don't want y'all scrimmaging around looking for money. I don't want y'all applying for loans, because these loans add up. And that's a whole nother video in itself. Your girl only saved up $2,000 to move in. But in my defense, I was deceived. I was deceived into thinking that I was only gonna have to pay these people $500 because my resident portal said a whole different price compared to what this welcome letter say. Number 3, if you haven't toured a solid 5 apartments/homes and weighed out the pros cons of each neighborhood, and I don't mean over time, I mean within the same year you plan to move, unless you've been taking notes on the communities. I say this one because, so way back when I turned 18, I started touring apartments and stuff. I'm 21 now. I moved out when I was 20. I probably toured only 2 apartments in 2024 before I decided to pick this one. And I only picked this one so fast because I was just ready to move out. But I really wish that I would have took the time to explore different communities and weigh out the pros and cons of all of them, down from just the community overall, how they operate, the management, and then the pricing. I am literally a living example of what it looks like to not have weighed out all of my options. But it's okay because my lease is almost up and I'm getting out of here, y'all. I'm getting out of here. Anyways, next we have, if your credit cards are maxed out, don't move out. I personally feel like credit cards are like payday loans at our fingertips. And I say, if your credit cards are maxed out, don't move out, because that's another bill that you have to worry about. And 9 times out of 10, with you already having all of your big bills, you're not gonna be worried about your credit card bill for real. Like, you'll probably be paying the minimum, like $20, $25, whatever the case may be. But you're not gonna be too worried about trying to pay it off, because you're gonna be worried about the money that you are getting can go into another bill that you are gonna have. Credit cards are a luxury, but there is a such thing as abusing luxury. So pay them people their money back, and then you can think about moving out. Then last but not least, if you don't know how to budget and prioritize your wants and needs, you do not need to move out. Even though I personally feel like I didn't learn budgeting for real until I got into this apartment, because I literally was forced to. I feel like it would have benefited me so well if I had already knew how to budget before I got in here. Because when I lived with my granddad, y'all, I spent my money as soon as I got it, because I was so careless with my money. I was so reckless with my money. I didn't really care where it was going. I went in the store, didn't check grocery prices. I literally had been doing that since I was a kid. And that carried into my adulthood until it was time to be for real. And I will say, the first couple months of me living in this apartment, I did low-key do that. Like, I was low-key, like, not caring how I spent my money. I would go out places, not have a budget of how much I was gonna spend, and just spend my money. And then boom, next thing you know, it's time to pay rent again. I don't got the rent, now I gotta take out a loan. And I kid y'all not, that has been an ongoing thing for me all the way up until November. So from May to November, I was doing whatever I got to. Well, let me not say that, because it's gonna sound a little crazy, but I did take out quite a few loans to get my rent paid. I even had to pawn a few things to get my rent paid as well, because I didn't know how to store my money well. Going into this new year, y'all, we are not doing that. I'm not even playing those games no more. I'm gonna get my rent paid on time every month until this lease is up. And moving into my new apartment, we're not carrying on these same habits. It's getting ridiculous. I would highly recommend to get your money under control before you move out, so that way you don't have to mess around and find out the hard way like I'm doing. Even though my granddad told me, please, y'all, please don't be the person that has to learn from your own mistakes. Learn from other people's mistakes so you don't have to go through it on your own. It is a blessing to be able to learn from other people's mistakes, because you literally get to see what not to do and choose to not do it. If you are not good with money, you know you're not good with money, do not move out. And don't go ahead and try to test it out by moving out like I did and then seeing how you get serious about your money, because you gon' watch. That was my top 5 for if any of these apply to you. Don't move out. And then I have 4 other key things that I want you to consider when you think you're ready to move out. So if none of the things from the first 5 apply to you, then I want you to consider these 4 things. The amount of subscriptions you have add up. Really go through everything you're paying monthly for and contribute that into your rent, water bill, light bill, Wi-Fi, phone bill, etc. And make sure you can afford it, especially if you're living on your own. Now, even if you don't have a lot of subscriptions, whatever you are paying monthly for, you need to write that down on paper. Do not put it in your notes. When we put stuff in our notes, we never go back and look at it. Write it down on paper. And for you to say out your mouth what you're paying for monthly and then write it down on paper, I don't know, I feel like it makes you remember it. Even though you haven't moved out yet, so of course you're not gonna know like how much your water bill is, how much your light bill is gonna be, all of the things. Take an estimate. I would say before it got cold, I didn't spend no more than $87 on my power bill. Water bill, it has been fluctuating. I haven't spent no more than $75 on that. So let's just say that your water bill and your power bill is around $100 every month. Consider that. Consider your Wi-Fi. I don't think I paid no more than $120 for my Wi-Fi, if that, because it's actually pretty cheap. Add everything up together and make sure that you will be able to afford it along with paying rent. Also, if you don't want to do the work yourself, you can download Rocket Money, and Rocket Money will let you know. Let me stop sponsoring these people. Girl. Okay, second point. If you're just making enough to afford your bills, another source of income will really help you out. I feel like the current job that I have, I'm making good money, but I feel like I make just enough to be able to pay all the bills that I need to pay. And that's why I am looking for another source of income. Not sure exactly what that's gonna be. God hasn't revealed that to me yet, but I am hoping and praying that I can become a YouTube partner so that YouTube can be my other source of income. But hey, if it's in God's will, I'll steward it well. If it's not, then this is just for fun. But it is just a mental note that I've made that if I had another source of income, I probably wouldn't feel like I'm just keeping my head above water. Next, and this really applied to me when I had my dog. If you have a big dog specifically, and you're moving into an apartment, I highly recommend you try to get a unit on the lower level unless your apartments are set up to where you aren't directly over your downstairs neighbor. I say this because when I first moved in, maybe like the first 2 to 3 months that I moved in, my dog was running around the apartment and stuff, and everything was cool. But I guess my neighbor had moved in around the time, I would say around my birthday maybe, and chaos walking around the house would bother her, and she would be banging on her ceiling trying to let me know that I'm too loud. That has made me mad multiple times because I just didn't like the fact that it felt like my dog couldn't walk around in his own house because he was too loud for her. But I couldn't even be mad at her, but I guess. I wasn't never really mad at her. I was more annoyed because it was something that she kept doing like every night. I was like, don't really know what to do. And then I got a noise complaint too. Like, girl, he not even that big. Last thing I have for y'all, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Do not choose luxury over what you can truly afford. It will catch up to you. Remember, there are really nice apartments out there where you can get more for less. Letting y'all know that I didn't want to settle for my first apartment. Like, I felt like my first apartment really needs to be my big one, and I did do my big one. Kudos to me. But now I'm over here struggling in luxury, and that's gonna be a whole nother video as well. There are so many other apartments out there, y'all, that is bigger than these luxury well, I'm not gonna say quote unquote luxury because they are luxury, but there are so many other really nice apartments that are bigger than these luxury apartments that are boxes. Now, my apartment is a pretty nice size for me, but I do want a bigger apartment because I want a content room. But the 2 bedrooms at the complex that I'm living at now is running $2,000, and I know I seen a 2-bed 2-bath somewhere in Dunwoody for $1,400. Don't try to choose a downtown Atlanta or a downtown Decatur when you know that you can afford a Latonia, or you can afford a Stone Mountain. And for the ones that don't live in Georgia, don't try to afford downtown anything or uptown, whatever the case may be for your state, if you can afford something that's more local and suburban. Okay, the city life is cool and all, but you can commute. You ain't missing nothing in the city. That is all that I have for y'all. I really hope that this video helps whoever is looking to move out, and I promise everything that I told y'all in this video are things that I have experienced or I'm currently experiencing for myself, and I'm trying to navigate through that. So I want to let y'all know because I don't want y'all to have to figure things out the hard way, especially because there are some people that are out here trying to do the whole thing by themselves because they really want the status quo of, I moved out on my own. But I love y'all so much, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share to a friend or two, and don't forget to tap the notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload a video. Feel free to drop down in the comments what you guys think of this video, and also let me know if y'all want more apartment tips, as we will be going on this journey of living alone in our 20s. All right, love you guys.